Number 6, there are 8 assemblies in the SYM right now. We have 9 members that are constantly coming every other week to the magic shop, practicing, performing, trying to learn. If anybody knows of more, February 28th is our next meeting. Well, they're anxious there. I don't want to give you a bunch of speeches. The first performer tonight, Brad Hastings, he is a member of this school's thespian club. He's not afraid to be in front of the stage, so let's give Brad a big hand.
Hello. I'd like a member of the audience to come up here, please.
You do check.
Yeah.
Oh, you got me, I got a clown. What can I do?
Okay, come right around here. You know, I'd like you to take out the highest denomination bill you have.
He gave us change.
I just gave a change. Wait a minute. I might have my stand-up. No, the highest. No, see, you got a check. I can make a big check out. You got the wrong guy. All kidding aside, because I left my wallet at home when I shaved my coat. I was there looking at this guy.
Now, one of interest.
Okay, I lost you. Yeah,
Tell me 25.
Okay, 20. I owe you 25.
Wait a minute.
Okay, all right, that's good. I hope I get back in pieces.
Now, do you have a pen? Okay, I'd like you to sign your name right across. Draw a mustache on it. Do whatever you want.
Oh, well, yeah. Just so we know it's the same. There you go. That's good. He's cute as that. Have a glass. They didn't have glasses when he was
That's a wooden one.
teeth. I gotta watch.
Okay. I'd like you to hold this. Now take this rubber band, wrap it around it. Okay, now.
Another clown.
Now take your dollar. I want you to hold your dollar. Got it?
I guess
Sure it's
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I can feel something.
Now. Take this. Okay, you can let go.
Here we go.
Hey.
Hey.
It's clean, too.
That's the other part of it.
That's the other part of the trick. The keys. Your keys. My keys. Oh, my bill, but your keys.
Now I'd like you to unlock this, take out the crossbar, and open up the cap. Take out the crossbar. Dump
Something
it
down
over.
there. Sorry about that. $5 bill.
They don't want it to come out. Now unwrap that, please.
Unwrap it in the basket, man, and it is a $5 bill. No, he said $25 bill. $25 bill with my name and a mustache down it, which is illegal.
Now show that to everybody, please.
Hey.
Great act.
And then big hands for the volunteers.
Did you give me that?
Now I'd like another member of the audience. You, sir. Excuse me. Will you come up here, sir? You, now we have 5 keys and another $20 bill.
Yeah, it looks like mine.
Okay. Now, I want you to look at all 4 keys, because one of them, as a matter of fact, it's this one here, unlocks it. Okay. Now you got that in mind. See the key? got a good look at it. Because now, they're all mixed up. And I'd like you to pick 4 of these 5 keys. Go ahead, and I'll take the other one.
Pick 4?
Pick 4, any 4. This is my key. Now, one by one, I want you to try and open up this lock. And at any time, you can trade with my key.
At any time I
At
can?
any time. Take your first key. Try.
That's obviously a bad choice.
Take another one, and at any time, remember, exchange it with my key. Take another one, or use my key.
And I'll try your key.
Okay? And which one do you want to give me?
Why don't you take that one?
Okay?
None of them.
Now, look. This is my key. This is your key. You have a 50-50 chance of getting $20. 1 out of 2.
How about if I just give you change?
Which one are you going to take?
This
Try it.
You better get your lock fixed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I should have kept this one before. This is the one that opens it. Union for the volunteers.
Okay. Right.
Hey!
Can I try?
Yeah, I don't think you can go.
Yeah. One of the things that we strive in our performances at the shop is on presentation. It's very easy for anybody to go into a shop and buy a trick and go out and do it. Brad has worked on his presentation as far as the selection of the keys and all. This is what we go for. Our next performer is one of the newer members. There's only one thing hard about his performance, and that's for me to say his last name. Dennis Schlecker, right? Schlecker. I told you.
Okay, my name is Dennis Schleicher, and the trick I'm about to present to you tonight is called Hippie Happy Rabbits. Right here I have a white rabbit, a black rabbit, and a white rabbit. Right here I have a white rabbit and a black rabbit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black cylinder and I'm going to put it over the white rabbit. I'm going to take the white one and put it over the black rabbit. And I'm going to turn them around. And they obviously switched.
No.
And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch them again, the cylinders. And I'm going to turn them around again. And they switched again.
Oh, that's good.
You just turned it around.
Just turning them around. Wait a second. Tough audience.
They switched again. Okay.
The other side.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do, you all have an idea while you're all saying how you know how it's done. Do you want to see the other side?
Sure.
Yeah. Like this?
Oh, the other side. Others.
Like this?
Oh, back side. No, the other side.
Like this? Thank you for watching.
All right. I know that had everybody fooled. That's good. One thing I do want to say is every month the SYM puts out a newsletter addressed to all the members. Now the membership is not only for the youngsters. For $20 anybody can become a patron member. You're entitled to the magazine, which is written by the kids in the SYM. The president, vice president, they have their own order. $50, if you can afford it, you can become a sponsoring member and they give you a real nice little membership card for that. So bring your money in. Our next performer is another one of our new members. Let's have a nice hand for Bill Sakaris.
You see here, I have two blank rods. I give one a shake, and a diamond appears. I give them both a shake, and the diamond jumps over to the other rod. I give the other one a tap, and there's a diamond on the top of each rod. I push the rod through my fist, and it jumps onto the other rod. I give it a shake, and the rod jumps down to the other one. Now with this rod, I give it a shake, and a ruby appears. My next trick. One guy approached me the other day. He had 3 cards. One with a red diamond, another red diamond, and one with a blue diamond. He said the blue card's the money card since it's the odd one. He said, you tell me where it is, you win $1, you're wrong, you lose $1. So I said, that's easy. So the blue one was on the top. He took it, and he put it on the bottom. And he said, where's the blue card? And I said, on the bottom. And he said, you owe me $1. And I said, well, if it's not on the bottom, it's probably on the top. He said, you owe me another $1. I said, well, if it's not on the top and it's not on the bottom, it's got to be in the middle. And he said, you owe me another $1. So I said, well, then you must have done something. You probably don't have a blue card. And he said, you owe me another $1. I said, well, the blue one's on the bottom. It can't be on the top. He said, you owe me another $1. I said, well, if the blue one's on the top, it can't be in the center. He said, you owe me another $1. I said, I bet you don't have 3 cards. He said, 1, 2, 3. You owe me another $1. I said, that's enough. That's $7. I quit. And he goes, hang on, I'm having fun with you. He goes, we'll play double or nothing. You tell me what card's in my hand right now. You don't owe me anything. If you're wrong, you owe me double. So I said, with my luck, it's probably something mixed like red and blue. He said, you owe me $14. In my hands, I have a blank deck. On both sides, it's completely blank. All that's necessary to produce a card is just to mentally think of it. So I can think of a card like the 9 of spades, and fan out the deck, and the 9 of spades will appear. But once the card is out of your mind, it's out of the pack. And let's say I were to think of another card, such as the 6 of clubs. I cut the card, the 6 of clubs comes to the face of the deck. Let's say I were to think of a normal deck of cards. I get a normal deck of cards. But this is very hard to sustain, so when I cut the cards again, I end up back where we started the blank.
They're all good. Restaurant workers, look out.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I want to get on to the next one. He's one of my favorites in the club. He may be small, but not in our eyes, because this kid's a giant of magic. Nate Rosier.
I need somebody from the audience. How about you back there?
Bill. Bill.
Hello, Steve. No, Steve. Steve.
You back.
Jeff.
Oh, here, let me help you. Sure.
What, Jeff?
Hold on. He's already got my wallet.
I have a register. Just tell me when to stop.
Okay.
Buzzer
Stop.
tape.
All right. Now, you see the card.
Okay.
All right. Now, everybody see the card?
Yeah.
All Alright, now, I'm gonna sit there, and I'm gonna cut it in half. Wait. I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm gonna go like that, snap my fingers. Is that your card?
That's it. That's the one.
That's one half. And I'm gonna cut it twice this time. Alright, now, I'm gonna wave my hand over it, go like that. Is that your card?
No, that's
Alright, now, then I'm gonna wave my hand again, snap like that, and that must be his card.
That's the
All
one.
right. Okay. One more quick speech. Part of the training of our young magicians here, I would like, after the show or whenever, give me a phone call. I need people to come and talk to these guys, lectures, demonstrations. Over Halloween, Neil did his weird stuff.
Scared the heck out of you.
Okay, and I know Bill has, he's volunteered to do some juggling with the guys, and I know they're excited. I think we're going to wait till spring. We go outside for that. But if anybody has something else to contribute, please let me know. Now we're getting to, I consider the highlight of the show because our next two performers are very outstanding. These guys are doing shows already. Oh, a lot of the guys are also, but they're doing it for money. They're doing big shows. We have something a little special. Adam Farah and his sensational escape from his own straitjacket.
Thank you very much. First we need some help from someone in the audience. Steve, would you mind coming here?
Oh, there's somebody else, because they think it's fixed.
Come here.
Give him a hand.
I would like you to inspect that stage. Make sure no buckle slide. It's totally legitimate.
I don't know much about straitjackets.
Neither do I, actually.
Pretty straight.
Pretty straight.
All right, very good.
You're making out good.
Right.
Give me a pin for the
I'm
lunch.
sure you're familiar with the
Thank you.
way a straitjacket is. That first the strap's down the back, then the torture strap, and then the arms are back and right. If you help me inside.
Look nice?
Okay. Now if you can start buckling buckles tight as possible. Not that tight.
Look at that right there. So what the hell, but...
Yeah.
No, it's like that.
Chip, they let you keep yours though, and they let you out though, right?
Steve. What?
Really tight.
Right.
Tighter, tighter. Heard him.
I know that.
He told me he liked it.
You're in this today. Right, okay.
Is this
All right,
one ready?
now, the
You knew where to go.
Alright, the key word on this is caution, okay? That goes, there should be a buckle back there.
For that one?
Yeah. Should be
Go
a
for
buckle.
soprano.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Okay, now these go around his chest.
Okay. Okay, now these would be wrapped.
Tight.
You know what's going to happen to you if I get out of this?
something?
Nope. I think I'm pretty well buckled in here.
Turn
All
around,
right.
turn around once or twice.
Show the cameras.
Okay. Show them out.
What do you think?
Go for it.
All right. As some of you might know, Harry Houdini made this escape famous, and he did it in front of his audience, and that is what I'm going to do tonight, upon the recommendation of that man sitting right over there. All right. You guys go with it?
You got it licked now.
All right.
Now Steve will attempt to get back in.
I was hoping to keep the watch. Very nice.
All right.
Very nice. Let's have another hand. He sells the straitjackets for moms. Anybody else want to come up with him? Okay. You saw a lot of different magic tonight so far. You've seen close-up, you've seen stage, you've seen escapes, you've seen mentalism. Before we get into the next act, 3 members are not performing this evening. Mark Leone, my brother-in-law Dale Cohen, part of the group. The 3rd member is Kenny Saranchek, who is in Florida, getting a tan. So we miss him too. The last act is Magic Beyond Reality. This is good stuff. This is Randy Giornella. beyond reality. Was that nice? That's what our group looks like. Let's have a nice hand again for Randy, Brad, Dennis, David, Bill, Adam. Come on up, take your bows, guys. I see the banker on the way out. Get your money. They're up here if anybody would like to help with the acts, criticize, comment.
Autographs?
Yeah, autographs, definitely. These guys are super.
Practicing a trick through the whole weekend, anytime you weren't around. We saw a lot of intriguing magic up at Brown's, and I learned something that I really was quite impressed with. So what I'd like to show you is some little oddity of a piece called Hypnotizing a Rope. Now, it takes a little time and a little effort to get the rope to be hypnotized exactly right. And what happens now is it absolutely stands up on end, and like I said, I only had a weekend of practice. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go in the back and practice. Ben Boyer, would you like to come up and give us a hand?
I'm going to borrow a chair. I'm very happy that you conned Bill Greeno into coming tonight. And as I was told last month, the honors due Bill Greeno are long overdue. And I am one of the old-timers here who probably is as qualified as anyone to speak a little bit about Bill Greeno. Now, I hope you'll bear with me. This may take 5 or 10 minutes, but it's worth it. And I only regret that we don't have more of the members here to know about Bill Greeno. Now, I was the National Secretary for 17 years, so I worked for 16 national presidents, which I will explain in a moment. And in the early 40s, or the mid-40s, 1940s, Bill Greeno came on the scene. And I think I was instrumental in getting his membership approved here in our assembly. And from that time on, the SAM really was benefited greatly by having a guy with Bill's dynamic fortitude, capability, and willingness to work. Not that I'm not inferring in any way that none of our officers work, but on the national scene, believe me, sometimes it's unusual to find real hard-working national officers. They usually accept the office for the honors that they get and do very little on the national front. Not all of them, some of them. I could name some and you'd be surprised at some of the lax ones that I've had to work with as National Secretary, but we're not here to talk about them, we're here to talk about Bill Greeno. From the time he joined the Assembly, his indefatigable energy was noticeable. He did everything to keep our Assembly together in its harder days. I'm glad that we've survived these 40 years, or 50 years. It was 1929 when we were first chartered as an Assembly, so that's quite a long time ago. And Bill was one of these strange guys that could really move things. He was a hard-working president. After working up the offices that Chip is now starting as regional vice president, national deputy, national secretary, not secretary, national vice president, and finally he was given the office of national president. And believe me, the SAM benefited greatly through the efforts of our honored guest tonight. Now, I could go on and talk forever about the things he did, but I'd like to just point out two things, two examples of the kind of hard work that he did. Early in his presidency, we had a membership problem, and he was appointed as chairman of a national membership company, or a national committee on membership. And being in a position that he was, and with his company, for instance, Bill designed this kit that was sent out to all those interested in magic and becoming members of the SAM. I don't know if this is being used today or not, really. Maybe Chip could tell me, or Joyce could tell me, but I know that Bill went to tremendous effort and expense, personal expense, to create this kit to promote membership. And it was nicely done. Actually, anything that the Taylor Greeno Company in those days would do was par excellence. And the printing job was beautiful, and we had this prepared, and we used to send everyone a copy of the magazine, MUM, a free copy that went along with the brochure telling about the society, and a membership card was given, or a sample of the membership card was attached, and this, believe me, helped promote the membership of the SAM. You know, one thing that you people may not know, but during this same period, and this is no reflection or no detraction from Bill's skill and his work, but the associate membership program was also started about this time. And another one of our distinguished members, Bassett Mordecai, was the national chairman who created the associate membership plan that we now enjoy. As you heard earlier, we have about 1,900 associate members in the society. Of course, many of them are delinquent and so members. But the fact is that when I was national secretary, we were lucky to have 1,700 members. Now, we're in the 5,000 range of membership, so the SAM has grown tremendously. This was a project that Bill took on himself, and believe me, I'll never forget it because it was great, and it was appreciated by the society itself, and I'm sure it had its just rewards. Now, another thing that you might want to know is that this magazine, now this one I purposely pulled out of my file. This is 1953 with Bill Greeno's picture on it, the year he was elected national president. Now, one thing that's not known is that Bill Greeno is only 2 presidents of our entire history who served more than 1 year as national president. In fact, he was working so hard and had so much to do that he couldn't do it all in 1 year. And I think he and Howard Thurston were the only presidents that served 2 consecutive terms as national president of the Society of American Magicians. Houdini. All right, Houdini, yeah. And Bill Greeno. So after 53, he also accepted the presidency for a second year to finish up what he had started. Along about this time, of course, we didn't have a magazine earlier than this. This is volume 43, so two years prior to that, we never had a magazine in the SAM. We had a little 4-page insert in the Genii magazine and the Sphinx magazine every month, and this was all that we had. And many in the National Council knew that this was wrong for a society of our stature, our heritage, and our longevity should not have a magazine of its own. So I was appointed to make a feasibility study on producing our own magazine for the Society of American Magicians. And once again, it was with Bill Greeno's help that I produced, with his help, this sample copy. Now, I treasure this because this is 1949. And we, with Bill's help, he created the cover and got the cut for this. I did all the work of getting the inside stuff, the cuts from all the dealers, and compile a sample issue. As it says in the editorial, this is just a sample of what could be. And it was accepted, and we finally decided to publish our own magazine. In the interim, 6 months or so, it was decided, because of another feasibility study, that we should perhaps start with a format similar to this. So this was the format up to only a few years ago, 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, when we had this small format for the MUN magazine. And now, ironically, it's right back to the format that we started with before we even had an SAM magazine of our own.
What was the first volume?
The first volume was volume 42. Prior to that, there was no magazine. See, we elected to start with volume 42 because we were having a bulletin, what they call a bulletin, but it was just an insert in the Sphinx magazine and the Genii magazine, the Genii Conagers, for many years, until Bill and I and all the rest of us stepped in and we created our own magazine. Believe me, I'm so happy that it's turned out as it does. At least a society such as we have now has its own magazine and has had for 30 years now, and I wish it a long life and a successful life for another 30 years. But most of the credit goes to fellows like Bill Greeno and Bassett, and of course I helped a little. So those are some of the things that some of your newer members may not be familiar with. So when we say we're honoring Bill Greeno, it's not for naught that we're not doing this. I mean, he has contributed greatly, more in proportion to what we can ever give him for the work that he's done. And my congratulations to Bill for that. This, incidentally, was a nice issue. This was after the Cincinnati conference. It has a nice story about Bill. And I tell you, Bill Greeno, his magic is, I won't say it's legend, but I know it, and many of us know that Bill always did everything the best he could. He played golf excellently. He's a good musician, a very fine musician. He devoted his same, same energies towards his magic. Now, as far as, I don't know what anyone's doing tonight as long as magic, but some of the tricks that I remember for Bill Greeno, one of them is written up in this issue. They make a comment on Bill Greeno's. This, incidentally, excuse me for rambling just a bit, but this is an SAM21 issue. See, I don't know how many of you have this. It was in 1953. We have tricks by Nelson Demers, Joe Morrissey, Fish Cheney, who have all passed away. I contributed something. Al Juster's in here, Jesse Webster, John Dambrosky. And so this was an assembly issue at that time. But Bill is famous for many tricks. He devoted the same energy and effort into perfecting his magic. Anyone who can remember seeing Bill perform years ago will always remember his treatment of the desert sand trick, in particular, the ones where it's a stage trick used by done by famous magicians, where you have bowls of sand and you put them in the water and then you come out with dry sand. It's the sands of the desert, classic. Bill worked about 2 years perfecting a version of that. That was just beautiful, and he won national prizes with his presentation for that sand trick. I can't tell you how many hours of study, research, and effort went into creating every move, every effect, so that it was a self-contained small illusion that you could do anywhere on a stage or on the platform. And of course, I can remember one trip we made to the Santa Barbara Convention. And, You know, Bill Greeno was the first one who introduced the Divano deck to the West Coast people. Believe me. Before we left, the Divano deck came out, and he created a sensation with that in Santa Barbara, showing it off to everyone there. And it was new to them because we were always ahead of them. Most of the magic at that time was created in the East, and then it went out West. So anything we did was enjoyed, and it beat the West Coast, believe me. And Bill excelled in small little tricks. He did the paper trick, the tissue paper trick, which is written up in the MUM. Then his bamboo wands with the tissels and the tassels and the fez. And, I was going to, even when Bill asked me to do something, you know, some magic pertaining to Bill and his history, I was even going to, I didn't have the time, I'll tell you honest, and I apologize, but I was going to see if I could get some of these things and ask either Bill to do them or we would find someone who would perform them in Bill's stead, because they are old classics associated with Bill Greeno. He was a great president, and he was a good friend and good magician. His energies did not, you know, stop with the society. Now, I don't know how many of you know this. Bill was also a yachtsman. And I remember being on his boat a couple times, and I don't know whether he attained the rank of Commodore, but here it's Captain Bill Greeno. And in his spare time, he created this, which was nautical magic, a promotional stunt produced by the Taylor Greeno Company. And from this little thing, I thought maybe I'd just try to show you one or two things as my contribution to tonight's magic.
Greeno's the guy that
in doing this,
remember.
he produced this little booklet, which he has probably a dozen little rope effects that are simple and easy to do. And really they are, you know, they're I won't call them kid tricks, it's good magic. And believe me, if you study this and learn everything in here, you can put on a 15 minute or a half an hour show using the stuff in this little pamphlet. Now, I don't know how many he sold, whether he wanted to sell it or not. All I know is that I've got it, and I'm glad.
You got the only one.
Got another one up front, the other at the back.
The only 5,000 of them. Got a whole attic home full.
How many did you print, Bill? Do you have a lot of them left?
No.
You've got it. You got one probably.
In the kitchen.
And our first performer this evening is our most recent past president, Bill Smith. How's everybody tonight?
Fine. Anybody else?
Oh, sorry. Who is happens to be
This one smells
embarrassing time.
Yeah. Pebble in your shoe. It smells like feet. It smells like flowers now.
You know, getting on a serious note, I don't know how many people get their magic magazines, but there's always lots of good tricks in them. There's always something of interest for everybody. And tonight I'd like to present a selection of what's of interest to you tonight. Sorry.
Why so fast?
Bill was enjoying it then. I need the assistance of somebody tonight. Would you come up and help me, please? It's easy. It's painless.
In that case, you
I know. Do we have a chair for you? Back there, make yourself comfortable. To know that inside everybody's house, there's something that always watches what you're doing, something that knows what you're doing at every second. 1984 is coming up. George Orwell is not far off, but it's already here. There is something that sits on everybody's kitchen counter. It can see, it can read your mind. It tells you exactly what you're thinking at every given time. your kitchen toaster. Now, believe it or not, this little gadget knows exactly what you're thinking. Sherry, for the next 30 minutes, travel with me into the beyond. What I'd like you to do is select a card. Now, just tell me when to stop. Stop. You gotta say it quick.
Stop.
Right there. Would you take a look at the card? Remember what it is. Don't show it to me or the toaster. Remember, let the audience see it. Don't show it to me or the toaster. Sherry, would you put that card between both of your hands so no one can see it? I'd like to demonstrate something for you. Sherry, what does the word M-O-S-T spell?
Most.
Most. What does P-O-S-T spell? What do you put in here? No, you put bread in here. See, they're doing it already. They're controlling your mind. Sherry, don't let me or the toaster see that card. I want you to concentrate. Let nothing disturb your concentration upon that toast. Concentrate. Remember what your card is. Don't let anything disturb it.
She likes that one.
Concentrate on that card. Let nothing disturb it. Concentrate on that card. Sherry, just concentrate. Let nothing disturb your concentration. Let nothing disturb it. I'm running out of props.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, obviously you have a mind that cannot be read very easily. Steve?
Something burning.
Watch out for the sprinkler overhead.
Sherry, what was the name of that card you took? Four of diamonds. Toaster! No, it's all. Now, I almost forgot. This is the favorite part of my show. It's when I get to answer that question, which is quicker, the hand or the eye? Go! The eye! Thank you.
He did that one very good.
Yes.
He belongs here. Well, I'd like to thank you, Bill. I'm afraid I can't, but I'd like to. Can I help the toast, Bill? Yeah, that's AM21's answer to Rip Taylor there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I need to know, who was president first? Was it Walt or was it Storm?
Must be wrong.
Must be Walt? Well, from our most recent past president to our least recent past president, would be Walt Umberfield. Turn your pacemaker on, Walt.
Yeah. Thought you were going to wait to put the old guys
What happened to Bob?
Is that your friend? I didn't know how many new people would be here, so I kind of pulled away from what I normally do in my act because I've been doing the same 15 tricks for 25, 30 years. So I decided to go and see if I couldn't pull out a little something that's a little different. See if we can. Paper. kind of a variation of the Lincoln ropes. One, two, three. I'm sure you all recognize this. This is my fish net. This is a little routine that I wrote up in the MUM about 20 years ago, and I thought you might like to see it. This is how I missed out on a good fish dinner one time. My wife gave me this special fish net for Christmas one year, and all you have to do is you see it's just a regular old fish net, and you run down to the lake and you wave it around over the lake, and all of a sudden you find you have a nice fish. Now I figured that this is a pretty good fish, so I can take it home and have a good meal. So I put it back in the bag, and I started off toward home when the game warden came along and he said, "You been fishing?" I said, "No." He said, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, I don't have any fish." He said, "Well, okay, go ahead, run home." So I got home and I said to my wife, "Hey, you ought to see, what a terrific fish." Yeah, where'd he go? I don't believe it.
That's the one that got away.
Yeah. There he is. There's a fish I caught. She says, "Fine, but you're going to have to do the cleaning. I'm not going to clean it." So I said, "Okay, I'll take a shower, then I'll come down and clean it." So I put him back in the fish net. And when I got through with the shower, I came down. I went in the bag to get the fish so I could clean it. And lo and behold, I found that I had now only the skeleton of a fish. Because you see, while I was up there, the mean old cat got in there. And that's how I lost out on my fish dinner.
Thank you, Walt. Well, we've had our most recent past president and our least recent past president, which some might confuse with the oldest past president, which I warn you against, because the oldest past president is not the least recent past president, which is Ben Cohen. Let's bring him on up.
Don't go away, I want to get up here and see if nobody's left. All right, back. How do you do? I'm not one of the oldest. Just had my 45th birthday, and I'm very proud of it. There's two very, very old widows we're talking. One says to the other, "You know, you want to go on a date?" "Oh," she says, "afraid to go on a date. Shame. I'm 80 years old." "Well, let's both go on a date." She says, "Oh, no, where are we going to get to? You go, and if you like the date, let me know, and I'll go." So she goes on a date, and the next day, the other one says to her friend, says, "How was the date?" "Oh, my God, do you know that I had to slap him in the face?" She says, "You mean he was so fresh?" "No," he said, "I thought he was dead." this woman had one of these pressure cookers explode. And the turtle crashed, took some skin off her face, and she had to go to the hospital. They had to put the graft and skin on. And who do you think donated the skin? Her husband. Where do you think they took the skin off from? Right there. Weeks and weeks and weeks. He could only sit on one cheek. The other one had to hang off the chair. And she, it healed beautifully, just like it was. Never a scar, nothing. And she was thanking him one day. She says, John, she said, I don't know how to thank you. You're such a great man to do that. Go through this agony and pain you're going through. I don't know how I ever can be your reward. He says, don't worry, honey. Every time your mother kisses your cheek, I'm rewarded. There's two little boys that were 6 years old, walking along a fence, and there's a big sign on the fence, a high fence, nudist colony. So one kid looks in there, wow. The kid says, what do you see? A whole bunch of people. What are they, men or women? He says, I don't know, they haven't got their clothes on. You know, up in Massachusetts, way up in the hills, they have these theaters, you know, they put up plays, wonderful plays. And it's called Nature's Valley. The seats made out of cut trees that are cut, and you sit on them. The stage is all the trees around, also made quaint. Now they put wonderful plays on. And all of a sudden, one man just duty called, he had to go, so he walks up to the back of the theater, of the place, and says to the usher, where's the men's room? Oh, he says, we don't have any men's room or waiting room. He says, go behind one of those trees, nobody will see you. So he does. He comes back and he says to the usher, is the second act over yet? He says, you ought to know you were in it. And a piece of toilet paper was floating around the White House grounds. And the wind blew it around in a circle, and it blew right into the president's window. And the man who had charge of the crown was following it, ran up the stairs, and the fellow stops him. He says, you're too late, the president signed it. This is a trick I've done for years. In any magic show that I've seen, I've never seen anybody. This is what my magic club that I belong to are. A gold wand they gave me on our 50th anniversary. And I find it a good luck wand. So we take these green handkerchiefs. And by the way, Bill, you did that trick beautiful with the toast. Beautifully.
Well bred.
Yes, all those tricks. Could you have a little butter or something like that? That would go with it.
I saw that up in the Catskill go with a bagel.
Yeah? What initial did he put in the hole? I always get a kick out of this, and the audience, 9 times out of 10 get a kick out of it. If it works, see? Now, can you see that very clear? Very clear? This is one of my old ones. You fellas have seen me do it time and time again. And I wonder if I can have you come up now. Just get alongside me. Feel how nice this is. Notice this one's no heavier. Strong enough to hold them or carry them. Now I'll just... This one here. Take it like that. Leave them alone. This one here I want to give you a hold. And put your hand down there like that. This one here I'll take and I'll put it in like that. Did you feel it go in?
Yep.
Did you? What? They got you? Yeah. And take these two, see? And put it. Hands down. You did? Oh, come on. You got three there. I'm going to give you... I'll tell you what. I'll take the... Hold the whole four. See? Tight. All right? Now turn your hand over, but don't hold that open. Now slowly open your hand. Very slow. Very slow. Very slow. Very slow. Very slow. Very slow. Very good. Thank you very much. Now thank you for giving me a break to give you a little fun.
Seems everybody is the most something, either the most recent, the most retired, the eldest. I don't know who. The only way I can describe our next performer is the most mental. In any case, Clint Phillips.
Many of you, I know, accused mentalists of deceit and trickery by coming to a magician's meeting and relying on such devious things as extrasensory perception, telepathic powers, or something like that. Well, just to allay any fears that I would attempt to use ESP, telepathic powers, or anything of a supernatural or paranatural process, I'm going to use playing cards tonight from the Magic Castle ordinary gimmick cards. This is a new deck. Break the seal, and of course you know in all new decks of cards, you start off with the jokers, and then they nicely line all the suits of cards up in order. I thought what we would do tonight is take the spades, always been partial to the spade cards, and work with these 13 cards, because tonight, using magic cards, we're going to attempt the most amazing coincidence ever known in the history of magic and in the history of minds. Now, Bob, you're right here. Steve, if you would. I'm going to give you the playing cards. And I want you right now, give some of the cards to Steve, if you will. As many as you'd like. Steve, you have some cards now?
I do.
I just told you that, Steve. Steve, I'll tell you what, give some cards back to Bob. And Bob, I don't know, maybe you want to give some cards back to Steve. And just keep handing cards back and forth until you get tired of this nonsense. And have you both got cards in your hands right now?
Yes.
Okay, stop, and very quietly into yourselves, I'd like you to count how many cards you're each holding. All right, you've got that number in mind?
Yes.
Okay, remember that number. Now, Bob, take the cards back from Steve, if you will. Mix them all up so that it's impossible for me to know any order in which you have them. Okay. One thing I do know for sure is that between the two of you, you have 13 cards, correct?
Seems reasonable.
Now watch carefully, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one card at a time, and I'm going to number them. When I come to the number that corresponds with the number of cards you had in your hand, I want you to remember that card. Okay? Watch carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Now one of those cards, ladies and gentlemen, that I showed him corresponded with the number of cards that you had in your hand. Think of that card, if you will. Steve, if I may with you, watch carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You have a card in your mind. Would you help me out for a moment? Take the cards, mix them up as much as you want. We have 13 cards there, each of the gentlemen thinking of a card now. Would you do this? Would you take take one card out of the pile, one card out, throw it down on the table. Now, would you put 2 piles of 4 cards each down on the table? Any order you want. Wait a minute. You've got 4 cards. 4 cards. How many do you have in your hand? 4. All right. Now, in any order, put any of those 4 cards. So you put 2 cards on each pile. So we end up with 6 cards. Fair enough. We've mixed the cards up. We have 2 piles. Ladies and gentlemen, the most amazing coincidence that you may see tonight. Gentlemen, when you see your card, I want you to both yell out, stop. Must be nice.
Stop.
Coincidence, ladies and gentlemen.
Truly most mental. Now, I know Al, past president back there, he said he'd rather not perform anything. But I'd like to recognize Al as being a past president. But I don't think there's much question, Al, that you don't win this category. Obviously, the most bald past president would have to be Storm Congress.
Good Lord loved some heads very much, the others he covered up with hair.
I agree.
You agree, right? Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to bring some sort of a miracle here tonight. Thought I'd make an effort to make the show educational as well as entertaining. What is this mess? I think if I do that at a magician's meeting, deserves something. Thank you. Actually, I wanted to show you how we in Magic Land go about doing our laundry. Stole the table. We just use the detergent box. And all you have to do really is to put your, deftly put, that's the one you can remember that, deftly put the handkerchiefs down into the box. See how, with some sort of savoir-faire. Then you give the box a little shake, shake, shake on the left and a shake, shake, shake on the right. And the trouble is with this new wash day miracle, every time I do this, my entire laundry comes out tied. That was 2/3 of a pun. P.U. For the Boy Scouts in the group, I thought I'd show you how we go about tying a square knot. You see, some people wonder about tying square knots. When you tie a square knot, you always put the left over the right, and then the right over the left. And the result of that will always be a perfect square knot. If you want to check that out, you know it's always tied in a square rope. Oh, I had a joke for Clint. miracle. Now, I know that you've seen some incredible card tricks. What I'd like to show you is a miracle with cards. This is not a trick in any way. I have more sense than to do any tricks before this group. Someone that I don't know, I'd like... Would you be so kind as to think of a card, but before you do that, I want you to think of a card that you'd think that I wouldn't think you'd think of. Do you understand what I mean? Yes. Okay, there you go. Take a look. Pick out one that appeals to you, but try to be tricky. Don't touch it, just think of it.
Oh.
Have you thought of one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, here comes the amazing part of this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to write the name, on my paper. I'm going to write the name of the card that she only thought of on my card here. Are you thinking?
Yeah.
Okay. Put that face down here so you know I don't cheat. Now comes the chance where if you really like fouling up magicians, this is your opportunity, because all you have to do now, of course, I'm going to ask you which card to point to the card that you just thought of, and now comes the opportunity, because all you have to do is change your mind, and the whole
one I thought of.
the one you thought of that was right here, right? Would you just point to the card you were thinking of? That card right there, is that it?
Yeah.
Did I influence your choice in any way?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, before she selected the card, I wrote the name right here on my business card, and would you be kind enough to tell her what's written there, sir? She selected this card.
Emily.
The name of this card is Emily. You didn't know? No, it's written right on the back. You can't miss it. She had a free choice. She could have taken Val or Don or Bill or Walt or Alex or Debbie or Gil or Lois or Barb or Helen or Bess or Eve or George or whoever she wanted. But she took Emily.
Very good story.
May as well keep that because I can't use it again anyway. What are the chances of someone else taking Emily again? Oh, my final effect. This is one that hasn't been demonstrated in public for many years, and I brought it out especially for this occasion. This is called stretching a rope. Milburn Christopher made it famous. One takes a small piece of rope, and it's... Isn't that a miracle? Now you know why Milburn is where he is. A collector. Oh. We seem to have some sort of a...
Yeah.
Wait a minute. The rope burns in the strangest. Now I was noticing when I was in school, you had to be very careful what you said in front of girls. Now you can say anything you want. Well, you can't call them girls. Tangled up on something here. Oh, boy, I don't know. Really. Really tangled. I can't imagine. What?
Going along with our bests and mosts, I've seen this performer perform many times, and for my money, it's the best magical entertainer in the state. So what I'd like you to do is take a card there. Well, I tell you what, why don't you just say stop somewhere. Right there. Grab that one. I thought I was going to say you, didn't I? Let's see, would you take a card there?
It looks like Killian.
Would you take a card there for me, Lil? Good, and would you take a card
1, 2, you didn't take a card, did you? Good, I didn't want you to take care. You take the card there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 4 cards? No, 5 cards. Oh, why don't you have the cards? There. I'll tell you what, Avis, I have a felt tip pen. I'd like you to sign the face of that card if you would. Yeah, sign your name right on the face of the card there. Right the picture, Lisa, definitely.
Picture on the back.
Yeah, right across the picture, just so you know that that's your card. And let's see what we're going to do here. Could you place your card back here for me? And top there. Put that in.
I have one, Bob.
Oh, you have one. Sorry. Didn't want to forget you there, Lil. Right back about there. I tell you what, hold on to yours for just a second. And so you put yours in there like so. And now Lil will take yours there. I can remember all these. I may earn the title of most mental. And you put yours right about there. That's good. And I'll take my pen back. Everybody together. That's how I got it. It doesn't write too well?
Well, it's kind of thick.
Oh yeah, I know.
Something.
Now, what I'd like to do first of all, tell you what, I have a kind of a frame here. Just take the frame apart, just so you put the glass in, the backboard and this. Could you just hold on to that for me for just a second? Hold it right on the palm of your hand, just like that's fine. And Steve, forgot to. Did I get your card? Well, let's see what happens here. I have a handkerchief here. And we're going to wrap the deck inside the handkerchief. Like so. And Lil, what was the name of your card?
Heart.
What was a heart?
Or if you want, do you want the number?
Yeah, the number 2.
4 of hearts.
4 of hearts. What was the name of your card?
4 of diamonds.
Something's going wrong here.
Somebody must take it.
7 of diamonds. That was your card? Huh. I tell you what, would you turn over that frame there, too? 7 of diamonds. Yeah. We're going to see where we're going here. And let's try it again. Wrap these right up like that. And Lil, you said your card was the 4 of diamonds, right?
4 of hearts.
4 of hearts? I thought you said diamonds. You didn't say
4 of hearts.
4 of hearts. Yeah, that's what I thought, the 4 of hearts. And shuffle up here, Steve. What I'm going to do is make your card fly right out of the pack. Oh, and is that the 4 of diamonds? It is. And back over here, I think we had 2 cards selected. I'm going to do both at once. Yours here is the 2 of diamonds, and Henry, I believe you had the ace of hearts. Is that correct? You had the 2 of diamonds, and you had the ace of hearts? I thought you had the 2 of diamonds, and you had the ace of hearts. You had the 2 of diamonds. Yeah. You had the 2 of diamonds there, and you had the ace. That's right. You had the ace of hearts. Very good. Right? Now, Avis, let's see. Would you like to see your card fly out of the deck, or would you like to see it penetrate the handkerchief?
Penetrate the handkerchief.
up just like about so. And all we have to do is shake. And the name of your card was? The Queen of Hearts. That's the jacket. Oh, you sure it was the Queen of Hearts? Yep. Huh. No? I tell you what, I don't think it could have been the Queen of Hearts because you see I have a wallet here. And inside this wallet there is a zippered compartment. Open that up there. Inside the zippered compartment I've placed a wallet. I placed an envelope. And if we tear open the envelope, inside there is a card. If you open your hand up, excuse me. Just open your hand right up there and take out the card. Is that the card with your signature on it? Thank you very much. And we've had a long line of bests and most bald. Right now we have the most. Bob Killian. Anybody have noticed? Thank you, Bob, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when you come to a meeting like this and you see around you scores of people who love magic, you stop and pause once in a while and you say, but is there anyone here who really believes in magic? For you know, ladies and gentlemen, in a world of non-believers, of skeptics, there are still people who believe. And I'd like to recount to you an experience I had recently in Louisiana. I was down in the bayou country, dock, shrimp boats occasionally came in. I saw a lady with a group of small children around her. She had a cheap Woolworth's type enameled box. She took off the top of the box. And the children all looked at it. They looked at their reflections, the spaces between their teeth on the top of the box. She was an old woman. Old as sin. She took out a taper. Her hands were gnarled and leathery. She didn't have any trouble as she took the tin and started to smoke the top. Come here, it'll be twice as fast. The young kids around her, boys and girls, watched with total wonder, anticipation, knowledge that this woman, this old woman, knew things that they may never know, had experienced things that it would not be theirs to experience.
Very similar to the audience here tonight.
She had blackened the inside of the pan. And then she placed it in the sand. On the sand, next to the water. And then she looked at me and she said, "Sir, do you have a coin, a small coin, a quarter, nickel? Does someone have a quarter? How about a quarter? Someone said a shiny coin, a coin that is as shiny like all coins. It has a date, 1983. She took the coin. Oops, still a little hot. She took the coin and she placed it down on the table. And she said to me, "Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in black magic?" I said, "No." I have to confess I don't. It was 1983, this year. She said, "Add them up. 1 1 and 9 is 10. 8 is 18. 3 is 21. And that's what I did. I added them up. And then she took the can. Will you take a look at that? And there, in the soot in the can, the number is 21. I'll tell you, I don't know how she did it, but I came away saying to myself, maybe, just maybe, all of us should be a little bit more of a believer.
Thank you, Bob. And with that 21, that ends our past president's performances for tonight for Assembly 21. Thank you.